Kelsey Mitchell has always been a survivor. It's the beating heart of the Indiana Fever through seasons that most players would have begged to escape. For years, she carried the weight of mediocrity, enduring coaching changes, devastating blowouts, and the humiliation of being on a team the rest of the league treated like a scrimmage. She was the lone star trying to shine in the darkness, tasked with putting up points on nights where there was little to celebrate. She became the face of loyalty in a league where stars often chase brighter lights. Now, in 2025, her patience, her persistence, and her refusal to abandon the Fever are finally paying off. And for the first time in her career, Michelle has broken her silence to tell the world exactly how this turnaround happened, in a rare, unfiltered moment. Mitchell looked straight into the cameras and admitted what fans had long suspected but never heard from her lips. The turnaround wasn't just luck. It wasn't simply the natural progression of a rebuild. It was the arrival of new cornerstones Aaliyah Boston, KZ Hull, and of course, Caitlin Clark. And Mitchell did not downplay the obvious. She said it plainly. Caitlin Clark has changed the world. Changed the dynamic of basketball itself. That statement didn't come from a coach, a league executive, or an analyst on TV. It came from the woman who had the most reason to feel overshadowed by Clark's stardom. Mitchell could have been bitter, resentful, or quietly jealous. After all, she had been the face of the franchise long before Clark showed up. She had endured the pain, so others could now reap the rewards. Yet instead of clinging to the past, she embraced the future. She praised Clark's grace, her openness, her ability to bring doors crashing open not just for herself but for her teammates. Mitchell made it clear that her respect wasn't just professional, it was personal. She called Clark a teammate, yes, but more than that. She called her a friend. That word means more than people realize. Friend. In professional sports, friendships can be complicated, weighed down by egos, contracts, and competition for the spotlight. But Mitchell insisted that Clark's integration into the Fever was seamless. Clark didn't demand to be the sun around which everything revolved. She didn't alienate teammates or create divides. She brought everyone into the light, radiating energy and attention so that her teammates could shine with her. For Mitchell, it wasn't a threat. It was a gift. And make no mistake, Mitchell has benefited as much as anyone. With Clark drawing cameras and headlines, Mitchell has been able to thrive in ways she never could when Indiana was irrelevant. Her profile has risen, her game has sharpened, and she has finally begun receiving the recognition she always deserved. She's gone from being a hidden gem grinding in obscurity to a household name in the WNBA conversation. And yet, in acknowledging that Mitchell didn't shrink her own legacy, she reminded everyone that before Clark arrived, she was the one keeping the lights on. She was the one ensuring that there was still a platform in Indiana for Clark to elevate. Her loyalty and production during the darkest years are why this foundation even exists. The genius of Mitchell's comments lies in their balance. She gave Clark her flowers without stripping away her own. She validated the obvious truth of Clark's seismic impact, while reminding everyone that dynasties are never built on one player alone. They are built on the merging of new stars with veterans who have already bled for the franchise. Mitchell embodies that balance. She is both the bridge to Indiana's past and the anchor of its future. Her loyalty to the Fever has always been unshakable. But now it is evolving into something even more radical. Mitchell hinted that she would even take less money if it meant keeping this core together. That kind of declaration in today's sports world, where securing the biggest contract is often the unspoken law, is nearly unheard of. But it underscores how seriously Mitchell believes in what Indiana is building. This isn't just about one playoff run. This is about a dynasty, a team that can alter the WNBA landscape for years to come. And it isn't just the stars that make Mitchell believe. She praised the role players, the veterans who come off the bench with wisdom and perspective. Sydney Colson, with her humor and her championship pedigree, has been a vital voice in the locker room. Aaliyah Boston has already become one of the most dominant posts in the game. Lexi Hall, gritty and fearless, embodies toughness. Together with Clark and Mitchell, they form a Fab Four that could become the most dangerous nucleus in the league. Mitchell's voice matters more than people may realize. In Indiana, the Clark question is always lurking. No matter the topic, no matter the context, it always circles back. What about Caitlin? It has become the unavoidable orbit around the fever. For months. But now, she's not dodging anymore. She's speaking the truth as she sees it. Caitlin Clark isn't just a teammate. She's a transformative force who has rewritten what it means to be part of the fever, what it means to be part of women's basketball, and perhaps even what it means to be part of sports in general. What makes this different from the petty rivalries we've seen play out elsewhere is Mitchell's refusal to engage in bitterness, A'ja Wilson throwing shade, Cheryl Swoops belittling Clark's impact. Those kinds of comments have dominated too many headlines. But Mitchell took a different route. She showed that honesty and respect can coexist, that you can embrace a generational star without losing your own shine. And in doing so, she may have set a new standard for authenticity in the WNBA. The Fever's rise has been organic, forged through struggle and patience. Mitchell endured the years when 5 wins were the high point of a season. She endured coaching changes that destabilized the franchise. She endured being the league's doormat. And when the reinforcements arrived at first Hull, then Boston, then Clark, she didn't see it as her role being diminished. She saw it as the culmination of everything she had fought for. She welcomed them, embraced them, and declared her allegiance to the vision they now share. And make no mistake, that vision is terrifying for the rest of the league. Mitchell, Clark, Boston, and Hull aren't just building a playoff contender. They're building the scaffolding for something much bigger. A dynasty that could dominate the WNBA for the next decade. They've turned the Fever from a punchline into must-watch basketball. And they're doing it not with egos, but with unity. Mitchell's endorsement of Clark is about more than basketball. It's about culture, chemistry, and the kind of trust that wins championships. It's about rewriting the story of women's basketball, not as a tale of jealousy and undercutting, but as a story of collaboration and mutual respect. When Mitchell looked at Clark and told her, "Give yourself some grace, kid. You've done things not a lot of people can do. I'll always be in your corner. I'll always be in your backcourt." It wasn't just a message to her teammate. It was a manifesto, a declaration that this Fever team is different, that they're not bound by the old narratives of division, that they're ready to build something together that could alter the sport forever. The bottom line is this. Kelsey Mitchell didn't just endorse Caitlin Clark, she embraced her. She validated her impact. She vowed to stand beside her. And in doing so, she has fired a warning shot to the rest of the league. Either acknowledge what's happening in Indiana, or be left behind as the Fever rewrite history. Because what's building in Indianapolis isn't just exciting, it's inevitable. The WNBA has a problem on its hands. A good problem if you're a fan. A terrifying one if you're a rival. The Fever are no longer a rebuilding team. They're a revolution in progress. And Kelsey Mitchell, the survivor who kept this franchise alive through the dark years, has made it clear she's all in. So what do you think of Kelsey Mitchell's friendship with Caitlin Clark and her decision to fully embrace the future of the Fever? Are we watching the birth of the next